Welcome. Hi, 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 hi. Happy Sunday. How is everyone? I'm having a blurry vision day. I don't know how many of you, I think this is something with channels that with or without glasses, my vision is so blurry. And I keep thinking, just put on your glasses and it'll be better. And then I have days where it's fine and it isn't like that at all. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for joining me live. I am so happy that you're here. You can't even believe how happy I am that you're here. I can't even express it with words. I'm just so overjoyed that you're here with me right now. A few announcements before we get started. I'm trying to maintain my energy to be really low and kind of, well, grounded would be a better word. I know hierarchy is not something Metatron appreciates. Um, but I'm trying to maintain a grounded energy for you right now. I'm just so also thrilled to be talking about this particular topic. And I'm curious if he has to say something similar to you that he said to me, because the prequel to this, just with Metatron and myself kind of getting together and being on the same page with what he wanted to address, it was incredible. And I can't wait to see what comes through. Do you know that in trancing, we don't remember anything immediately? In trance channeling, we actually take quite a bit of time to pick up on the information. It takes like sometimes 6, 12, 24 hours to remember anything that was stated. So how's your weekend going? I'm still at the tail end of some kind of cold. So you want to know who Metatron is? Metatron was one of only 3 angelic beings who decided that he loved us so much that he wanted to fall from heaven. And please don't get religious or superstitious on me. Tell you what, because he doesn't deal with that well. And he'll tell you that superstitions are something you need to clear and heal. This is not a religious thing. Fall means that an angel loves you so much that they're willing to lower their energies to help you, to literally become human as Enoch. That's who he was. And then to transcend back again and to go through everything that we went through in order to help us understand Christ consciousness, oneness, love, the sovereignty of the gift of free will that you have and how to use it and not abuse it. He literally stepped down from God's side and said, I will be a human angel for you. That's what a fallen angel really means, right? So when some people come onto my channel and leave comments like, oh, he's fallen and he's religious and he's demonic, and you need to take that stuff elsewhere. Okay, you need to understand the truth from the mysteries of what fallen angel is. Okay? It means there's a lot of love, so much love, right? That they would literally become you in order to help you and then transcend everything that you're struggling with, become an angel again, arise again, ascend in the same way that we have to, and then become our guardians and gatekeepers. Metatron is definitely one of my gatekeepers, along with Raziel and Michael, or Michael would be the true definition. So that's who Metatron is. He became Enoch for us so that he could help us. And that helped a little bit for the times. He's not going to become human again, he says. But he became the being you know as Enoch, and he literally walked with God, right? Do they risk not coming out of the matrix? No, because that's a great question, Kim. He says that because they actually have more of a remembrance of who they are from the angelic perspective. It's there, so they don't run that risk like you do. So they're able to come, be human, and help you remember your God self as well, and then go be angels again. Such an honor to work with him, because he's got the human side and the angelic side. I'll tell you, he's been one of the only angels that can tell me things that would be particularly catalyzing and otherwise seem a little bit polarizing, but also transcend polarizing beliefs. He could talk about something that would typically catalyze or polarize you, like politics or war, and give you the loving perspective of it. And this is one of the things that I love so much about Metatron. Okay. We're going to save all of our questions until the end. I'm going to go into a trance here in a moment after announcements. And when he wakes me up, and after my cat stops scratching the bed, Gracie, my cats react to the dragon and angelic beings that I work with a lot. Okay, I think she's done. After that, he's going to wake me up, and then we're going to take your questions, and then I will do conscious channeling with him for you. That means I'll be awake for that and field your questions to him. Metatron actually did come into physical form. He's not here anymore, but he did, and he did everything that you have gone through. He has done it, and then he transcended and became an angel again. He loved us that much. He's one of the very few, one of the 3 angels that have done that. That is why I channel him, because he and the other 2 know so much. And then there are 2 other prime creators who are human, angel, and deity. That is Lilith and Halal. Those are the ones that also understand a lot about being human. Yeah. I want you to just take all those questions. I'm reading chat, but I want you to take all those questions for Archangel Metatron, hold them until I come back from trance, because I'm about to go into a trance. And we're going to talk about the 1111 portal energies. And we're going to talk about them and just have him share whatever messages he has about how to utilize these energies and how to work with light and darkness right now, how to work with the light and darkness within ourselves right now, how to find this middle way. There's so much light and so much dark, and how do you find your truth in all this? Those are some of the things he wants to talk about as well. And we'll see what else he has to say. Announcements. So hold all your questions until I wake up. But the announcements before then is just a gentle reminder. Today's Sunday. If you have an application out, please go ahead and turn it back in. If you have a mentorship application, because this is the last week of approval for mentorship. I do work one-on-one and train people into finding their creative purposes and honoring their spiritual abilities and coming into their whole self. It's something I've been doing for quite some time now, right? I've been reading for 24 and a half years and teaching for 10 years. So I do work with people. If you're interested, shoot us an email. We took the packages on my website. They're not off, but you're not able to just buy them. Like, we straight up would have to return people's money because there is an application process. I want to make sure that I'm right for you, that I'm the teacher that can best help you. It's not necessarily easy to work with a teacher like me. I can be very catalyzing, but it is also very rewarding. Right. So it's one of those things that I have an application process because I want to make sure that you can handle how I teach. That's it. That's the only reason why. And I want to make sure I'm right for you. Right. And that you don't, like, for instance, if you need a teacher that's really like holding space and going through healing work with you and energetic emotional processes for your emotional healing, I have people I can send you to. Like, I got people for that, but that's not me. Like, you, generally speaking, I like when people come to me when their emotions are a little more grounded and in check. And there's just certain things like that. Don't care if you just woke up or you're a master. If you feel a calling, let me know and we'll talk about it. Okay. Oh, that's so sweet. This person said, I like that you have an application process. Yeah. I just want to make sure we're in alignment because I'm not easy to work with. It's just the truth, right? It's the truth. It's rewarding, but it's not easy. Okay. Oh my goodness, what else is going on? What did I miss? Patreon, I've got that linked above. If you like these channelings and you want to support my work, I have hundreds, not like 111, more like 3, 4, 5, 600. I don't even know how many channelings from 2017 until now. And we add them 2 to 3 channelings a month, 2 to 3 classes a month. So that library is growing. If you want to see all that work, You can do that by joining my Patreon channel, which is linked above. I'm going to drink some water and then get out of here and let Metatron talk to you. Holy cow, I was thirsty. Excuse me. Alrighty then. El creatamia toi shiare cor neano quod Christe mona, qualia tuanimo quae kai, kia tuatia tata hu pucaria monara, que ella quisto corna que angelis codore metatronicoi com, sia armini asu co quae. I am Archangel Metatron. I am that one that you have called love. I am all interpretations of love from all places of the mind and the heart, of the soul, of the body. May the activation that we, the angels, have brought to you propel you forward and lift you from your greatest fear to your most safe, comfortable, loving version of yourselves. As I continue to ground throughout the body of the human through which I activate and through which I speak today, I urge you to visualize an altar. This is the love altar. It is golden. I urge you to place all fears, all doubts, all shame, all vengeance, all anger, all resentment, all bitterness, all hatred, and all suffering. Drop it now, please. Feel my love for you. Trust in the power of your own discernment to know that I am a true light guide for your mind, body, and soul. Trust your own discernment always, for you will need it in much greater capacity as we approach November the 1st as the beginning hallmark of the opening of this portal and all the way through the end of it at 11:11 p.m. on November the 11th. I am a being who has transcended time and who has been in it, but not of it. I am a being who has held presence as both human and angel and beyond. There is no need to identify the angels. There is only need to identify and trust in your own discernment and capacity to know what resonates, activates, and honors you. Use those words as healing tools. Beginning on November the 1st, ending at 11:11 p.m. on November the 11th, may you use those 3 words to activate you further into your creative purpose. The 11:11 portal is a time to distinctly remember your soul's creative purpose and to utilize it without judgment. Go ahead and place all of your judgments on the golden fear altar that I present for you today, and let me take your pain from you. Let me take your pain from you. Let me take your fear. The storm that is upon you is not just self-created, but created from a galactic war that has been present for over 1,125 years upon your planet. Other beings, which you don't trust, have been vying for your resources and have been hoping to take your power. If you fight amongst yourselves in this 11:11 portal of ascension, you will utilize fear to ascend and become beings of self-service. Please do not take this glorious opportunity to begin a civil war. This is our warning. Please do not take this glorious opportunity to fight among the many political, religious, and fear-based parties. Please transcend this. The shadow is calling. The darkness is powerful. The light is calling, and it is powerful. For the first time in 1,125 years of your collective growth and existence, you can choose to transcend and ascend in darkness, in service to self, or in light and in service to others, or for the first time, for the very first time, you can transcend in service to self and others. That may be a little like gray matter, would it not? What if it isn't gray? What if it's silver? You always say there's a silver lining to things. Here it is. Here's your sign. Any catalyzing, polarizing events from the darkness that pull you during this powerful portal time shall be transcended, not just with light, but with discernment of light, not just with darkness and protection and shielding, but with discernment of darkness and protection. You must get to know yourself so clearly during this time that you become aware of the difference between light and dark and the merging of the two energies so completely that you recognize what you have called perhaps Tao, that you recognize what you have called in some teachings the middle way, that you recognize that there are truth and lies everywhere. Following another person's truth, although it may be truth, if it does not serve you, you must activate and utilize these portals that come your way in this time of the year to empower yourselves with the graceful technology of discernment. You must empower yourselves until light and dark blends and you no longer are attaching to light or hiding in darkness. After all, light workers, did you come here to go hide in the woods, turn off your internet, do all of your light work without touching another human being? You did not. You came here to play in the dark, and like flashlights, you are all shining your light into the darkness. You are allowing your light to permeate darkness until a river of energy flows in both directions, north and south, east and west. The tides of energy are changing in your favor if, in this November the 11th portal, you can understand that up isn't the way, down isn't the way, right isn't the way, wrong isn't the way. You won't have one only in your political leaderships. You will have new parties entering the equation for the first time. You will have new voting protocols entered in the equation for the first time. You will no longer hand your power over to whether or not you choose one party or the other for the first time. You will begin new protocols of spirituality and awakening that lend to all sides of your polarizing mannerisms. This is the middle way, and the greatest opportunity for activation of the middle way is at the beginning of this portal on November the 1st and ending on November the 11th. It's a brief period of time where all of the changes that you've been willing to face but afraid to face in your personal, political, spiritual, and health protocols, you can change them. Begin a new way of honoring your health and bodies, light workers. Now is the time. I would like to give you a healing activation to utilize to heal the body at this time. Write it down. Kriyanome Eliatia Elelom. Kriyanome Eliatia Elelom. Krielome Eliatia Elelom. Say it with me. Krielome Eliatia Elenom. And it is. And it has always been. And so it shall always be. We are the love light that extends throughout time. I would like to give you an activation to calm, center, and balance your mental states of being. Kriye mane pata elelom. Kriye mane pata elelom. Kriye mane pata elelom. And so it is. Within the ways of sovereignty, I activate remembrance of my power. And all of the families of my soul are remembered. So it is, so it has always been, and so it shall be. I would like to now give you an activation to remember, honor, and have the courage to implement your unique soul's purpose. Kriye petamane elelom. Kriye petamanea elelom. Kriye petamanela elelom. I am the power and sovereignty of all creative love within me as I extend without. So it is, so it has always been, and so it shall always be. I urge you to go back upon this channel and to repeat these light languages from the angels known as El. You perhaps call them Elohim. This is what is needed now. You need activations at this time that will honor your mind and your bodies as temple And more so than not, and more so than ever, activations that honor your sovereignty bring you back into your power. And any moment you feel lost in power, utilize these activations one after the other in the order in which they were given. If you did not understand them, just repeat them later. These activations will help you embody your sovereignty further for the physical health of the temple, for the mental health of the temple, and for the remembrance of your unique creative purpose from the time that you are not human, but from the time when you remember your soul families and you remember why you became human. My advice to you in this portal and in this unique time is to not take thyself so seriously, but to utilize the golden altar that I have given you to place upon your greatest suffering. And here are the types of suffering that present themselves. The biggest forms of frequency and suffering that are arising in this unique portal for clearing are jealousy, revenge and vengeance, self-doubt, low self-worth, shame, and anger, along with bitterness and resentment. All of this, one by one, will come up within every single light worker. The only way out is through. And when you're done, if you're done, that is a big if, you can continue to play with the karma of them if you prefer suffering. Or you can stop saying I'm bypassing and simply give it to us. Give your pain, these lower frequencies, to the angels. They're powerful frequencies. And if you are not discerning and wise, if you relent to them, if you are not listening to the strong caution that we are placing in your direction today, you could ascend into self-service from the darkness. We do not think that is what will happen, but we feel that honoring only the light isn't the nature of the portal either. There will be much turmoil upon your lands, particularly as voting systems change. This is the year that begins. Mark this time by the third portal of 1111, and the third year from now, there will be remarkably different voting systems that empower every single human being, particularly for the US beginning, followed by the UK, followed by Ireland, followed by Canada, and then one by one the rest of the world will begin to implement voting systems, and all will be involved. It comes to a point, my friends, when you can no longer say, I don't vote because the system is broken. If you want to change, vote now, breathe now, touch another human's life. Light workers, it isn't always that you will have the unique capacity for clairvoyance, although the 1111 portal is unique for prophets, dreaming, and clairvoyance. If it is within your unique prowess for your contracts, this will arise in this time. And we wished you to be grateful and to honor it and to stop the doubting. If this is not within your unique wheelhouse for spiritual abilities, it will not arise. Do not attempt to create a wheel that isn't there in the wheelhouse. There are many underrated ways of connecting to us and many underrated ways of healing others. I will continue sharing these ways throughout many messages through this channel and through a few others, all throughout the course of this portal. From beginning to end, I am with you. From the Alpha to the Omega, and even when you can no longer perceive a beginning nor an end. I am with you. Do not be afraid of the changes occurring in your lands, in your peoples, in your political systems. The religious systems will have their core shaken, as there are many revelations that will come to pass all throughout the month of November and proceeding and finishing throughout the month of December in your time and calendar years. Do not be afraid of the vitriol that is attempting to be spread during these times. Do not be afraid of the earth changes that we have been discussing, and we will continue in further questioning when I awaken this messenger. Do not be afraid of activating your own gifts with the activations that we have shared today. Do not also take yourselves too seriously by being in fear. It is now time for humans to come together from all belief systems, all political systems, all beliefs. Whether you believe that there is a possibility in the angelic speaking through humans or not, whether you believe that there is a possibility of love for all or not, please hear me now. The activations are here. Whether you are ready or not is not the point any longer. Mother Earth has waited on your readiness for over 150,000 years, and it is time for change. We will awaken the channel and field your questions, and we will continue this channeling. I will hear your questions upon the awakening. Let me grab for a minute. Oh my God, I'm so thirsty. Okay. Every time he comes, I could drink up 3 of these. Do you guys do that when you trance channel? Anybody? Is it just me? And then the top of my head starts this little tingling routine, and it's like, boo. I know I'm weird. I just stopped even caring anymore how weird it looks. Isn't he amazing? Let's just thank you so much for that. He is so incredible, and I'm just gonna try not to cry now. I will field your questions. If I have missed the question to give to him, just do a little copy and paste for me if you don't mind. I don't see very well these days, so just bear with me. He's not going to take any personal readings about love or things like that. He doesn't mind you doing personal readings about like health and things, because that can help other people, but no personal things about love. Let's see. Yeah, what's up for November in events? He does want to answer that. Oh gosh, didn't we just hear this from another being? Something similar. I don't remember when I trance, but correct me if I'm wrong. He has said this, or maybe another being has said it before. There are 2 leadership positions changing this year, one of them in November. And by 11/11, at the next portal for January the 11th, he says that there will be 1 more in the UK. So 2 between now and then, and 1 in the UK insofar as political leadership positions. 1 is of Congress, and it is for the best. He loves that that is shifting, and that is in the US. And the other one has to do with sort of a pause, not a purposeful stepping down, but a pause is what happens first within a US political leader, and then he says that has to shift, and it's due to possibly a dementia or a mental health. He's showing me the energy of the head for a U.S. leader, and then and he what he says about UK leadership. He says fourth time is not the charm. Oh, geez. So let me ask more. He says that won't work either. Whatever the fourth leader that you currently have or will have, that won't work either. So that's tough because I believe you have gone through two. Am I correct, UK people? And now we could be on a third. So that means that if you go forth, which he believes you will in the UK, that also won't work for you. And he believes that that person has a harder time stepping down, but there are unfortunate, painful revelations about that person's activities. Um, I can't even see this. Sometimes this is why I don't channel, because they show me things and it involves innocent people, and I just let me just ground that. Okay. Show it to me in a different way. He said he can't. It just is what it is. This is involving child trafficking. So there's some deep revelations for the US, UK, and UK for child trafficking between now and the end of November. Ugh. Again, I have a hard time with this kind of thing. I just spill my stuff all over myself and everything. Unfortunate revelations, but he says tons of children, like more so than you could possibly. There's some revelations about children and shifting in law enforcement, both for the UK, US, and Canada, due to 3 unfortunate situations with the same topic. See, I get the visions when he shows me, and the visions just tear me up in my heart. But the other visions of what that looks like for the changes that are made in particularly law enforcement, and changes about what that looks like for there are 3 different lobbyists that come forth. Everything's happening in ones and threes, and this change looks good because it means a lot of this just stops. A lot of this just absolutely stops. Okay. I'm gonna have to go on to another topic. It's just gonna hurt me. It's gonna hurt my heart. What can I do or work on to heal myself and others? He said, for all light workers who are listening right now, there are an incredible collective of light workers listening in right now, along with the ones that will find this in the future. What you can do in this unique portal is to work on light codes and activations more so than you ever have before. He wants you to awaken with these light codes and activations. And utilize them, say them aloud, because they resonate with a unique frequency that helps heal all these things that he's sharing with us today, and all the changes. It helps ground us so that we don't take it upon ourselves, because he says the unique collective of light workers working and listening to us today are empathic, clairsentient. We are a little bit more prophetic. There's a lot of prophetic channels that listen to our work together. And he wants you to be keeping a dream journal and then doing the activations uniquely during that time as well, so that you're not taking upon a lot of the collective pain as it's dying off, and as the shackles of a lot of darkness are removed from certain really dark systems. He wants you to build yourself up, to like work on what he calls anabolism, because collectively we're going through catabolism. Catabolism is a falling off of what we no longer need, but individually, light workers, you need to work on anabolism, lifting yourself up, lifting yourself up. And these activations that he gave to you when I was in trance are exactly for that. He also wants light workers to get a little bit more grounded in their food, Light workers, I found that you are becoming a lot more sensitive to sugar. He says that you're a lot more sensitive to starches and carbs and anything involving sugars. Um, and he wants you to just kind of recognize that and stick more to root vegetables and proteins right now, and do everything that you can do to keep up your iron and your vitamin D levels right now, because this unique breed of workers that are watching the channel today are more prone towards anemia, B12, B6, B6 overload and B6 under, and vitamin D3. You don't get enough of it, like at all. So a lot of that, right? So when you eat sugar, you need to get it from raw sources, very raw sources like fruits and honey. And that's it. Like really just go on a giant diet shift right now. Okay. Yeah, it's unfortunate, but it's a lot of the plant medicines that we don't think about, he says, and he's taught me a lot of this stuff, and I haven't been suffering from anemia since he's been guiding me so clearly about that. But he has me take a lot of burdock root and to eat it and to drink it as teas and to make tinctures of it. And just generally taking the supplements that you have blessed and prayed over and sent energy towards. So right now you'll have to supplement with either, vitamins or plant medicines. It's the best thing you can do for anemia right now. Yeah. And there's so many plants that we don't know about that provide all these sources. So burdock root is so interesting. Like I take it, but it irritates my bladder. It's like so amazing, but it irritates me. But it always helps quickly, like more quickly than anything else. Um, for gut health right now, he says to heal your gut, he primarily wants you to focus on collagen broths, bone broths, different ways that you can add probiotics to your diet. He always tells this particular collective of light workers a lot about like cabbage and kimchi and what do you call it? The sauerkraut, with the red cabbage and things like that, getting your probiotics as best as you can. But collagen is the gut healer for the light workers at this point in time. Okay. Let's take another question. Brain health. He says he wants you to get more of the omega fatty acids all around the board. With brain health right now, for immunity, it's quercetin that he wants you to work towards, and for brain health, it is coenzyme Q10 and all of your omegas. It's going to be the best thing right now. It's just right now it changes based upon what we're going through. Yes, exactly. Bahia, the fermented foods are great for the gut health, but the collagen and the collagen broth is unique. A friend of mine got me onto a book that Metatron absolutely loves. I can share with you, and he loves everything in here. Not always great for vegans, but the GAPS protocol is something that he highly recommended for me. And I do a little bit of it. I haven't done a bunch to really personally recommend it, but he says that for the prophetic healers and the empathic healers, those type of channels, that the GAPS protocol is really going to be good for you. I haven't done it yet. I can't personally recommend, but if the angels are in, we should be in, right? I'm not sure what you mean. This person says, "Do you think it's channeling that I'm not aware of?" I'm sorry. He doesn't. He wants you to clarify.
She was saying that you had a runny nose when you were channeling, and that she has as well.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Anya. He says almost all prophetic channels have all of their passageways clear during channeling, because while you're channeling, you have to purify both physically and mentally. All of that has to come, and I'm pretty good about purifying mentally very quickly, but physically I still work on, like most channels do. So, it's for people who have like sinus issues, you will clear that before you can channel effectively. This person says, "I love food too much. How do we find self-control?" Okay. He says, it might be good to honor your true signals of hunger, because hunger is different for healers. Hunger is different for empaths. For this collective who's listening today, mostly, hunger comes in an attention deficit. Have you noticed that when you're hungry, you do this thing, and he calls it blank space. You just blank out. You just go into where you're super spacey and you can't think and you can't focus, and there could be 1,000 things you need to do. And these are the times, he says, when you walk into the kitchen and you're like, what did I come in here for? That's blank space. So when you recognize your hunger signals in this way, you need to go immediately towards raw foods right now, and particularly the raw plant medicines, and then go into the collagen broth to sort of like, give you a filler. Empaths need a lot of filling food. So and the collagen broths are really, really good for that. But start with the plant medicines to sort of open up and the gut in ways that you can begin to heal from that hunger that's constantly there. Like light workers, he says, are experiencing a lot more really gnawing type of hunger, like really painful gnawing type of hunger. And if you start with plant roots from plant medicines, not the aerial parts, but the roots and the lower parts, this will give your gut the nutrients that it needs. And then so eat that, wait about 20-25 minutes, and then add the collagen broths and any cooked root vegetables or cooked things that you want to add, right? So start raw and plant medicine, and then go towards collagen broth and any cooked things that you have. If you do this in this way, you'll begin to recognize your hunger signals and recognize what fills it up really fast. So this idea of intermittent fasting for the collective of light workers who are mostly empathic, clairsentient, or the telepathic visionary channels that get visions about the future. For us, we actually can't do intermittent fasting, like the whole, have a big meal and then skip a meal. It doesn't work very well, he says, right now for the activations that you are going through collectively. And he'll always look at it again to see if that changes. But he says that that's not really working. You should eat more like a forager of the land who goes out and does like the what do you call it, the wild foraging and things like an animal would, like go through and just kind of nibble on what you need, because you need to be energizing yourself, particularly with plants and root vegetables right now. And you can munch on that all day long, and if you can't do that because you live in a city, just get raw organic fruit from your stores, do what you need to do. But it's something that the whole 3 meals a day thing, or 1 meal, skip a meal, and then have a lighter meal, that's not working right now for light workers. It's just not helping you heal the gut, and it's not helping you stay fully energized so that you can activate your purpose and start healing and channeling and maybe writing, or maybe it's music, whatever you do. It's not fueling you enough, this whole intermittent fasting protocol. Yeah. So we need to be kind of munching a lot right now, like curing the hunger, not trying to avoid it. Right. Um, yeah. Um, yeah. I'm not going to say nay or yay on medical medium, because Metatron doesn't like saying yes or no to other people's work, because then we kind of start to polarize things. And he really doesn't feel like that's the way that we should be going. Right. He says that everyone is slightly different. Every light worker is slightly different in how they process food. And you really get to know your body as a temple. That's really important right now. And if what he's saying isn't aligning to you and something's working for you, stick to your way if that's what's working for you, because we're all very unique in how our gut health and our vitamin absorption and things like that are, Let me see, I'm reading questions. If you have one, just put it right there in the chat for me. We got about 10 more minutes. Why is morning coffee making me drunk happy all day? He said, well, Perhaps that is an overwhelm to your nervous system that you need to shift and change. Solar flash, he said mildly, you'll be getting a solar flash, but it's not as amped up, he says, as for how much people have been talking about how big and how horrendous it's going to be. He said mildly, you will receive a mild one this year, so mild that you may not even notice it, right? So not so much on the solar flash stuff this year. Do you guys have any more questions for Metatron? Just put them in there. Try not to make it like too personal to yourself, like about your love life or your career, because this is more of advice for anyone. Should I be eating a vegan diet? He said that now is not exactly the time for the light workers who aren't already vegan. If you are already vegan and it's really working for you, and how do you know it's really working for you? You are pumped with energy. And some light workers in small capacity can handle that, but it is a small capacity right now. We are not, unfortunately, at the time where our bodies can fully handle being vegan like the majority of light workers. So please honor yourself and don't make spirituality about what food you put in your mouth or energy you put in your mouth, but make spirituality and your ascension about what powerful things come out of your mouth instead. Right? There's too much polarizing for the angels to talk about veganism, because it just pulls us back into polarities. Honor yourself. He said, honor yourself. If it's working for you and you're really honest about that, please go for it. And there will be plenty of light workers and that it's just not working for. And he says, please don't shame yourself. Don't allow vegans to shame you, and don't shame other vegans. Understand that you are unique beings with unique needs. Don't shame each other. He wants to forgive all that and in the spiritual light worker collective. Okay. Let's see. Money advice. He said he wants you to understand that now is a good time for two of the most popular cryptocurrencies and one unpopular one. So now's a really good time for the second version of Bitcoin. Traders, you'll understand what I mean. I don't know what that means because I don't do Bitcoin. And it is time for Ethereum again. And don't be afraid, because they're going to fall out of the sky after this portal ends, and then they're going to start slowly rising, and it's going to be twice what they are right now. And then by the next portal, the year after that, it'll be 3 times what they are right now. So for those of you who are thinking crypto is crap, you're wrong, according to the angels. It is really going to help a lot of you out in some hard times if you are a cryptocurrency investor. Yeah. In terms of money right now for buying a house, now is not the time and will not be the time until around between May and June of next year. But now is the time for you to go ahead and be working on everything that you can do to prepare. But there are a lot of interest rates that are rising and they won't stop rising. So if you want to buy a house, say within the next month, you can kind of avoid that. But it's the interest rates on home buying aren't going to drop again until spring of next year. So it's like now or wait, is what he's saying. Now or wait. Not yes or no. It's just that we missed a really good opportunity. And a lot of people missed a really good opportunity. That's okay. Wait until like the beginning of the end of spring or the beginning of summer is when it should start. You'll see that starting to go down again and down again. And that'll be better by the end of the summer. A lot better. Okay. So home buyers, if you invest in that kind of thing, please heed his advice. He's always incredibly accurate. I don't know really what everybody has different meaning for different things. So when you ask an angel something like, how can I best serve as a transmuter? You need to understand what transmutation means. To transmute something, he says, you're not making an energy higher. You're not making it lower. You are blending it and making it its original self. Understand what that means, alchemist, before you go deeper into understanding transmitting, transducing, and transmutation. Right? How can you take a bunch of things, it's like a melting pot of energy, and find the original core value of what was, and is. That's what he says to you. It is a really good time for gong therapy right now. He did answer that for the Divine Grace, asked about that one. People who are attempting to get more clients right now in spiritual practitionership, he said, now is a time where you have a unique portal of opportunity for letting your unique gift shine. So if you're a practitioner and you're fully honoring yourself, it'll be like you have like a feast, which will become feminine again after this portal. So take the clients while you can, because then you need to kind of calm down and write it out. For people who are becoming new practitioners as light workers, it might be time for you to just go ahead. He says that it's time to stop waiting on people to certify you, or you thinking that you need more of this and you need more confidence and you need more motivation. He said, now's the time that everyone should have some degree of light worker capacity, that you just, even if you're just practicing, to go ahead and put yourself out there in some way, shape, or form without needing something to lift you and support you and say that you're A-okay. He wants you to trust yourselves, he says. Yeah, I'm getting a lot of real personal questions, like wanting him to confirm that they're channeling or confirm this about their business. And that's kind of not what we're looking for today. But yeah, kind of rephrase the question in a way that will put it towards something that could help everyone, because this is the angel that wants to help every single person. And that would help me.
Stephanie's question. Stephanie,
Can you please speak to the importance of grounding at this time? He said, right now, if you don't know how to ground your energy fields, you could fall victim to any belief system and then be lost in a land of confusion. So right now, dark energies are coming in to try to confuse people from their unique individual purpose. Right now, energies are coming in to try to sway people to be kind of distracted. It's just a way, he says, that we dishonor ourselves by becoming distracted from our purpose. Right now, light workers are being called and told and being shamed for saying they're not doing this and they're not saving someone or rescuing someone or putting all their attention towards healing someone. And right now, light workers need to focus on themselves and their families, and they need to ground out their own unique individual life paths and be unashamed of their unique creative purposes that they're wanting to go forth into. Now is the time to kind of go deep into yourself, he said. Deep into yourself and stop looking to rescue everyone. Go deep into yourself before you, and ground yourself really powerfully every day. Grounding needs to happen every day. He's been teaching me a lot about energy hygiene. And he says psychic hygiene is so incredibly important for light workers right now. Grounding being one, purging and cleansing being, also right up there. Understanding anabolism and catabolism and how to raise your energy or how to draw back your energy when your energy is too much. Light workers, there's a lot of that going on. Like all the light workers are in each other's business, and know when to draw back and not take someone's advice and learn how to listen to your own soul. Okay. We got 2 more minutes, so I'll take another question. If it's personal question, I'm probably going to avoid it because I need something that helps everyone. Let me find a question. Really? Did you guys see that? Some sprite interrupting my whole energy field a while ago. And now a fly's in front of me and a sprite was behind me. Have a hard time telling the difference anymore. Is COVID about to phase out? He said yes, but then it'll come back as something very different. It's almost like it mutates as something different. It doesn't hit people in the same way as it did, nor does it stop a lot of small businesses in the same way that it did. It's phasing out, but it'll come back as something different next year. Earth changes. He said California has a really big earthquake this year. That's something like, well, he said it might not be this year, but it's between now and January the 11th. So that's, if you're in and around like the San Fran area, You just want to pay attention because those things can come real suddenly and interrupt a lot of things. So you want to make sure you have all of your home really earthquake proof right now. And that's the biggest thing this year, and well, until like January the 11th, because that's the energy of the portal. And then something new opens up on January the 11th. All right. Let's see. We'll take one more question before we go. North Carolina. He said for the most part, North Carolina is as it is. It's the same during this time. Insofar as DNA activation, he wants you to understand that vocalizations, light language, and vibrations, along with the utilization of the 12-sided crystal, I believe he talked about that in another channeling. That's the key right now, utilizing all those things together. And I believe he talked about that in a couple other channelings recently. Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much for being here, guys. We're just starting our voting process on my spiritual community at Patreon. So we're voting on which classes are coming in, and it's an exciting time to see which being we're going to be channeling next month. And we just have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of channelings there. So if you like it, if you like this and you want to support me further and get a hold of like tons of access, please do join Patreon. It helps us out a ton and helps me be able to continue here. Because once I put music on my channel, it was really hard to get the same amount of views. So sometimes I feel like it's a little bit like chirp, chirp, nobody's here. So thank you for showing up today. It means so much to me that you did. And if you haven't subscribed, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. That means more than anything. Like just that alone is so big when you like and subscribe and share the channelings. That's just, I'm so incredibly grateful anytime. Okay. All right. I'll see you really, really soon. Bye-bye.